With all the propaganda circulating in Europe against Brexit and telling everyone in the UK that they are going to hell for the cardinal sin of rejecting the holier-than-thou EU, I thought it might be interesting to hold up a mirror to the hardline EU lovers and remoaners to point out to them that although there may be losses in our leaving the EU, what we are turning our backs on is dangerous, idealistic, and in serious trouble. To highlight these points, I did not even have to go back longer than 2 weeks from this date to pull out stories showing all the cracks. As it appears that I have been slouching online recently, I will get right to the point with story number 1. Recently, Mama Merkel has rejected a United States of Europe vision while in coalition talks with the German Social Democrats, a left-wing party. What's of concern here is not that the suggestion was rejected, it was that the Social Democrats, not to be confused with National Socialists of course, suggested a European superstate to begin with, or as I like to call it, the Fourth Reich. This is not the first time this party has made such comments. This leads us directly on to story number 2. The EU recently voted for a defence pact, which calls for all EU countries to fund and maintain armed services, or as I like to call it, the EU Army remoaners told us was never going to happen. The question to consider is, who would this army be aimed at? I seriously hope I am wrong, but I am looking directly at the Catalonian region. Story number 2 may also be linked to story 3 and 4, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Story 3 is about the plucky rebels for the European disunion. Poland is continually popping up as a touchy subject for the EU higher-ups. They do not like it when the vassal states act up and go against the EU narrative. Over the past year, EU officials have made quite a number of comments in relation to kicking out Poland, along with several of its close neighbours, mostly in relation to defying Empress Merkel's Order 66 to take in refugees from predominantly Muslim countries which Germany invited in but is having trouble taming. I have saved the most concerning story for last, pretty much the beginning of highlighting the EU problems, and I think it will be the end of them as well. Greek unions last week organised a massive strike against austerity measures being foisted on the country. What should really concern people is that it was both the private sector unions and the public sector unions who walked out. While the bureaucrats in Brussels argue how much blood they want to extract from the people of the UK, Greece, the least stable country in the EU, is unbelievably becoming less stable. One or maybe two of these things on their own would be cause for worry. All of these events happening within a 2-week period should be ringing massive fucking alarm bells. Call me a harbinger of doom if you want, but I am stating more objective facts about the EU than any remoaner is putting forward in relation to Brexit. And I'm doing it in style.